The question today is, I've always found reaching final interview stage to be easy but rarely receive the job offer. How do I overcome this challenge? And this is my answer. I'd like to share with you 4 steps that you can take after an unsuccessful job interview so that you can still walk away as a winner even after you have been rejected at an interview. Step 1. Obtain as much information and feedback as possible. If you don't hear from the company for a few weeks or even a few days after your interview, or even if you have received a generic rejection email, it is on you to try and obtain as much feedback as possible. Be polite and professional and tell them that this will help you understand what you have done well and what you could do to improve next time. As long as you were honest in your ask, most companies will get back to you with some form of feedback. This is also an opportunity to let them know that you are still interested in pursuing this opportunity in the future. You will be using this feedback from the company to adjust your game plan and strategy as needed, which is part of the step 3 that I'll be discussing with you in a few seconds. What you should avoid doing, though, is to argue or counter their feedback. The decision is already made, so don't waste your time. However, in rare occasions, if incorrect assumption was made regarding your take-home exercise or live presentation interview, you can provide more information to address the feedback. But do not expect to be considered for the role again, and in other words, do not keep your hopes up. Step 2. Give yourself time to digest and process your information. Being rejected and being unsuccessful at an interview is disappointing. There's no other way to put it. Even if you've got another offer from a different company or a different role, you still want to get an offer from all the roles that you apply for. That's human nature. It's completely okay to feel disappointed, upset, angry, defeated, or any other negative emotion for a while. Take the time to process your emotion. Personally, for me, I go through a cycle of disappointment, sadness, anger, and then finally acceptance. It usually takes me 2 hours, but every person is different, so it might just be 20 minutes for you or 20 hours for another person. The key here is to allow yourself to feel that negative emotion instead of trying to push it aside. Once you feel all the emotion that come with being rejected for an interview or for a job offer, you will find that you are ready to move on and think clearly again. Maybe the reason for your rejection is that the interviewer made an error in judgment, or maybe he said something that were taken on the face value. Maybe your interview performance was just not good enough. Maybe there are more suitable candidates. It doesn't actually matter what the reason is. What matters is for you to be able to move on without getting paralyzed by what could have been. Step 3. Adjust your game plan and strategy if needed. Based on the feedback that you receive, you can do one of the 3 things. First, you may want to change how you present yourself and how you communicate your skills to be more aligned with what the interviewers are looking for. Secondly, you may decide to gain additional knowledge and skills in the area that you were a bit weak in or areas that were identified as gaps. Third, you may accept that you are not going to change your tactics or strategy, but apply for different roles that may be more aligned with your skills and experiences. To give you my personal example, one of the feedback that I received from those who do not know me or have worked with me in the industry is that I do not have a leadership presence. The perception comes from the fact that technology is a male-dominated industry and people are used to seeing assertive leaders who value hierarchy and command and control. To add to the fact that I'm female, petite, soft-spoken, and a bit too smiley, it's hard for some to accept that I'm an effective leader. While it's sad to see gender and leadership stereotype in the 21st century, I've come to accept the fact. And most of the time, I'm not willing to put on an act during an interview and display the masculine attribute commonly associated with effective leadership, such as assertiveness, competition, just to get the job. This doesn't mean that I do not apply for leadership role, nor do I not get leadership positions. I just have to understand myself well and know how to present myself in the best possible light without losing my integrity. And if I'm unsuccessful because it was still not good enough in the interviewer opinion, then so be it. Step 4. Remember the golden rule. What's the golden rule? I hear you ask. Dalai Lama once said that, remember that sometimes not getting what you want is a wonderful stroke of luck. Whether the reason for rejection was because you didn't yet have the technical skill or soft skill required for the role, personal traits that were deemed necessary by the interviewers or by the company, or purely a misjudgment from the interviewer's part, know that your worth is not tied to the performance of an interview. And yes, interviewers are human too, and they may sometimes make wrong decisions, and it's okay. I truly believe that everything in this world happened for you, not to you. Every time after I was rejected for a role, I got a better offer from another company or another team. So my advice for you is to spend your time and energy on becoming a better person every day instead of dwelling on the rejection, and trust that a superior offer is just around the corner. To wrap it all up, I like to ask you to take the next step forward. So, what if you were rejected for a role? Your life is not over, your career is not over. It's okay. The important thing is for you to pick yourself up again and take the next step forward. In life, you win some and you lose some, but those who are the ultimate winners are those who have the courage to keep going until they get what they deserve. And in this case, a role that is aligned with what you are looking for, and a company and colleagues who will appreciate you for what you bring to the table.